What's up everyone, and welcome back for another video here on the channel. Thank you as always for coming back and taking some time to click the video and budget with me. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Monet. I am 27 years old, and here on this channel I am documenting my financial journey. So I share how I budget to my income. I've been doing this since 2020, so we're coming up on 4 years. I've documented myself getting out of debt, and now I am documenting the process of me saving and being financially smart with my money. So if you're interested in that and you enjoy that type of content, want to learn more, then definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, join the family, and hit the bell so that you'll be notified whenever my next video is uploaded. So happy February, you guys. We are here. We made it. I swear it took forever for January to be done. That was the longest month I've ever experienced, but we are in February, and of course that means closing one month means that we have to budget for the next. So I am trying to be consistent this year in terms of closing my budget and documenting what I actually spent and then budgeting for the next month. So that is why I have my budget binder out with me. She is never normally shown, but this is where I put all of my budget sheets that you guys see me use. I just hole punch them and add them to the binder. And if you don't know all of the sheets that I use, they are available for a digital download. Thank you for the people who went and bought and tell me that the sheets are helpful. I always love hearing that, and I'm just happy that I can at least help even one person. I am satisfied. But anyway, let's go ahead with closing out January 1st to see where everything actualized, and then we'll get into budgeting for February. All right, so here we are with our January budget. So let's see how things came in for the month. So in terms of my full-time job, I'm a salary employee. So usually my checks are the same and my budget number never changes for my full-time job. But this year we had a different health insurance provider. So my health insurance changed a little bit, and I wasn't sure how that was going to impact my checks. But it turns out I'm getting a little bit more, which is always thankful. I'm happy for that. So I budgeted $4,280. But actually for the month from my full-time job, I brought in $4,314. And always, this is me preferencing after my 401k has come out, after I took out money for tithe, after health insurance, all of that. This is what I budget. So we're gonna go ahead and write the total for $4,314. Okay, I jacked that up a little bit, but we know what that means. I don't have the best penmanship, you guys, so I'm very surprised I don't get that comment more often that my penmanship is not the best, because I cannot stand my handwriting. But I am pushing through and continuing to budget and show my penmanship on the internet. But let's go ahead and get into my savings category and see how those actualize for the month. So for annual payments, I did add $80 for the month, so that is accurate. Car maintenance did receive the $40 that I budgeted. Car insurance did get $70. Christmas was received with $40. Gifts did get $20. Household, I decided to give a little bit more since my checks were a little bit more than I anticipated. I did give some to household, so it was budgeted at $30, but it actually got $65. And I prioritized that just because, as I shared with you guys, I'm trying to reorganize and declutter things within my apartment. So I like to invest in my home. Medical was budgeted at $10, and it did receive that. Travel, I budgeted at $300, but we had to decrease this, not too much, but $295. Emergency fund was also one that had to get reduced a little bit. I budgeted $515, but I actually gave it $500. But I didn't feel too bad about lowering my emergency fund, because if you guys remember from my savings challenge, like my dollar and coin savings challenge that I did for 2023, I gave majority of that to my emergency fund. So me being down $15 is okay, because I more than made up for that by adding my savings challenge amounts. And then my Roth IRA, this is something that I definitely want to commit to. So I did give the $440 as I wanted for the month. So if we go ahead and total up everything within the savings section, I budgeted $1,545, but we actualized with $1,560. So not too bad there. The next section that I have here is debt, but I am debt-free, thankfully, so we don't fill that out. So we can move along over to my monthly bills. First up is for my rent. I always budget $1,700 and it actualized at $1,684. I tend to always give $700 and it's always around $1,680, $1,690, around that area. But I'm fine with over budgeting because I never know how utilities are gonna go. Because as we move into the next monthly bill, my electricity, me and her, we are just not friends. We are just not getting along. So for the month I budgeted at $160, but it actualized at $211. Ugh. I just can't. Every time I see the number, I'm just disgusted. I do want to say thank you for the people who gave me tips and ways that I can try and lower my electricity. I have been doing that for the most part already. Like, I unplug everything. I only run what needs to be run. I don't run my heat 24/7. Like, if I'm not here at my house, my heat is turned off. The only exception that I did run my heat, even when I wasn't home, was when we were in the negatives in terms of degrees, when it was like -2, -10 outside and it was very cold. I kept the heat going just because I didn't want my pipes to freeze. But other than that, I turn off my electricity. So I'm doing what I can. For February, as we'll see, I budgeted high, but since it has not been as cold and it's getting a little bit warmer, I haven't had the need to run my heat constantly. So I'm hoping by March, you guys, we can get this bill back down to a reasonable amount because $211 is just ridiculous. All right, next we can move on to my internet. This is a fixed expense, so it's $56 all the time, or at least it should be. Sometimes I have to get on the phone with them also because they be trying to throw in extra fees and I do not need that. But for the month of January, it was $56. Gas, I brought this to $70. I did have to make, adjustments within the budget just to compensate for the fact that I wasn't anticipating my electricity to be that high. So I did move some things around. Spending was at $200 and that is what it got. Groceries, I budgeted at $300 and that was also the same. Toiletries was budgeted at $90 and that is what I did. Clothing was budgeted at $70 and it did receive that. And eating out was budgeted at $80, but I did bring that down to $70 as well. And then in terms of a rollover, I did have $3 that I left for like a buffer or a cushion, and that mostly goes to my $2.99 Apple subscription that comes out randomly each month. So let's go ahead and add up everything for the monthly bills and see what that gives us, because I did not add that. Okay, so that gives me a grand total of $2,754 that we spent within monthly bills. So slightly more than what we anticipated, but we still made it work. So now we can get down to the summary. I like to do a zero-based budget, so I always try to get it down to zero. So in terms of income, we know that was $4,314. Monthly bills came in at $2,754, and savings with $1,560 and $0 to debt. So if we start with our income minus our monthly bills minus the savings, we are left with zero, meaning that we had a zero-based budget. So there we go. That is putting a wrap to January. We were able to do what we could, stayed within our budget, we didn't acquire debt, and that is all I can ever ask for. So now that we have January, let's go ahead and see how February is gonna look. All right, you guys, so here we are with February. The quote for this month is, "How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you." And that is very prevalent. I need to remember that this month and put that into action because that is a word. So if we look at February, the color is a little pink. But yes, this is the February monthly calendar overview. I will reflect on my monthly goals and make any notes. I know for a fact I'll notate that it is my father's birthday in February, but I need to look over that and see everything I need to plan for the month for that. So I'll do that later. But let's just get started with the budget portion. All right, so starting with the income, that is going to be my full time. And we're going to budget for what I made last month for this month. So it's gonna be $4,314 for the total. And then getting into my savings, I'm just gonna go ahead and list my categories first and then just bring you guys back for the amounts. So for my sinking funds this month, annual payments is going to be budgeted at $80. And as I shared before, I already have a set amount that I know I should save each month to keep me on track to cover my annual payments for the year. Car maintenance, this is going to get $40. I just always like to add money where I can for this fund because you never know. Car insurance is getting $70. This is for my my 6-month payment that I am saving up to pay for that. Christmas is going to get $40. That's another one where I just like to add money where I can. Gifts is going to get $20. And I am slowly building this up because I am going on a wedding and I'm gonna have to get a gift for them, of course. So saving up where I can because I have not seen a registry yet, but I'm assuming they're gonna put something out there, and this is a family member that, you know, I'm close to, so I wanna get a nice gift if I can. Household is getting $30. Medical is getting $10 for the month. Travel is going to get $200, and emergency fund budgeted at $500, and Roth IRA this month is budgeted at $524. So some big savings goals that I'm trying to achieve this month. So let's total this all up and see what we get. All right, so that is $1,514 for the month within my savings, sinking funds, investments, however you want to call that. Debts, we will go ahead and zero out and move on to our monthly bills. All right, first, of course, we have rent. And as I said, we budget that at $1,700 for electricity. You guys, I am playing no games this month. I am going to budget $300. But if this bill comes up to $300, I'm gonna be very upset because I'm trying to overestimate just because the 211 threw me off. But if it's $300, that's ridiculous. I don't anticipate it to be that much, but I just wanna cover my bases if I can. Internet, we're gonna do $56. Gas, I budgeted at $65, but I am pretty sure I'm gonna do more than that. It's just the way the numbers looked, I just had to do 65. I am going on a road trip at the end of this month, so it's about close to a 3-hour, 2.5-hour drive of where I'm going because my cousin and I are going to a concert and I am driving to the location. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need more gas than that for the month, but that's something that I'll fix as the paychecks come in and as we get closer to the date. Spending is going to get $180. I did bring my spending down a little bit to account for the electricity. Groceries is going to get $300. This is something that I really don't want to change if I don't have to. $300 a month for groceries has been working out well for me, so I changed that as a last resort. Toiletries is going to get $90. I want to get a little gussied up before the concert and, you know, make sure I look cute and everything, so toiletries will be used. Clothing is going to get $40. I'm actually doing 2 concerts this month. One concert I'm going back to Jersey to fly and spend with my best friend, and then the other concert I'm driving to. But yeah, $40 for clothing. I'm gonna try and go to the mall this weekend and try and get an outfit because my best friend requested that we wear all black, which okay, but after I cleaned out my closet, I realized I have no more like all black cute concert clothes. So now I gotta go find something all black. And then eating out, I budgeted at $65 for the month, and that is something that I can definitely stick to. Well, now that I say that, now I'm not sure because we're going to New York and my best friend loves to eat out and New York is pricey. So we'll see. We'll see if we stick to $65 at the end of the month. All right, and then for a rollover, I had $4 left, so I leave that there as a buffer. So now let's go ahead and total up everything for our monthly bills. All right, so that totals to $2,800 for the bills. So now let's go ahead and fill out our summary. Income, $4,314. Monthly bills, $2,800. Savings with $1,514. Debts at 0. So let's verify that we have a zero-based budget. So starting with the income, minus the bills, minus savings, we are left with 0. So that is perfect, giving us a zero-based budget. All right. So there you have it. That is how we are going to budget for February for the month. All right, you guys, so thank you so much for watching. Definitely please let me know if this video is giving you guys, motivation, or is still something that you guys want to watch. It's still very new for me and being consistent with it, but this really does help me because when I have a plan and I tell my money exactly where to go when the paychecks come in, it's more of a game plan that I can stick to. But as always, leave your comments, give the video a thumbs up, and share it definitely to let me know. If you aren't subscribed yet and you're thinking about it and you're enjoying the channel, then definitely be sure to subscribe, join the family. We always love to have new members. And with all that, you guys, that's all I have. I wish you all a good weekend, a happy February, and I will catch you all next time in my next video. Bye, guys.